8 of the 12 boys trapped with their soccer coach in a flooded cave complex in northern Thailand have been freed. Officials said the time for rescuing the others would depend on the weather. Thai Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha visited the cave to inspect the rescue operation. Head of the rescue mission said that the 4 boys rescued on Monday had arrived at hospital and were safe. A New York man said who was Donald Trump's personal driver for more than 20 years sued the U.S. president's company, claiming he was not paid for thousands of hours of overtime. Noel Cintron said the Trump organization has not paid him for 3,300 hours of overtime in the last 5 years or so and given him a meaningful raise for 12 years. The Trump organization says Cintron was paid fairly. Britain's Brexit Secretary David Davis has resigned from the government. He feels Prime Minister Theresa May's policies are undermining exit negotiations with Brussels and that Parliament would not truly regain powers after leaving. Boris Johnson has resigned as Foreign Secretary of the United Kingdom, becoming the third minister in 24 hours to walk out of the government. This comes against Theresa May's plans for a soft Brexit. The Prime Minister hammered out a compromise with her deeply divided cabinet in an all-day meeting at Chequers on Friday, but after consulting friends and allies since, Johnson decided he could not promote the deal. British Prime Minister Theresa May appointed Jeremy Hunt as Foreign Minister on Monday, after predecessor Boris Johnson resigned in protest at the government's plans for a close trading relationship with the European Union. The appointment of Hunt, the long-serving health minister, sees a close May ally replacing the maverick Johnson and could alter the Brexit balance of May's top ministerial team. Police has said that the missing item, contaminated with nerve agent, was a real concern after a woman died from possibly coming in contact with it. They added that the risk to the public remained low. Officials said the priority was to determine how the woman and her partner, who was critically ill, came across an item contaminated with Novichok developed by the Soviet military during the Cold War. Flooding in Japan has led to the death of at least 414 people. The rains also left swathes of central and western Japan under water. Authorities fear that they could find more bodies in the wreckage of homes devastated by rivers of mud and debris. Prime Minister Shinzo Abe cancelled an overseas trip to deal with Japan's worst flood disaster since 1983, with several million people forced from their homes. There was a massive fire on nearly 40 local boats at a port in Indonesia, holiday island Bali. Firefighters battled to bring the dramatic blaze under control. No injuries were reported. Several witnesses said they suspected the fire was started by an electrical malfunction, but authorities said they were still investigating the cause. Using the hashtag dancing is not a crime, Iranian people posted videos of themselves dancing, criticizing the arrest of gymnast Mahideh Mojabari. One video shows a man dancing in Tehran. Another video shows Iranian refugee Solmaz Aigdar, a 36-year-old journalist, female activist and reformist who was imprisoned twice and escaped to Istanbul, Turkey. President Tayyip Erdogan pledged to build a strong Turkey with a powerful defense industry and expanding economy as he was sworn in on Monday with sweeping new powers over a country he has dominated for 15 years. Assuming the new executive presidency he has long fought to establish, Erdogan took the oath of office in parliament before addressing dozens of international leaders gathered at the presidential palace in Ankara.
Sayın Cumhurbaşkanımız.
Movie mogul Harvey Weinstein has pleaded not guilty to charges of sexually assaulting a woman in 2006, the third criminal sex assault case brought against him. His attorney said he expects further charges to follow. More than 70 women, mostly young actresses and other women employed in the movie business, have accused the 66-year-old co-founder of the Miramax film studio of sexual misconduct, including rape in a series of incidents dating back decades. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez met with his pro-independence Catalan leader Quim Torra on Monday for the first time in an encounter lasting over 2 hours. This signalled a thaw in relations between Madrid and Barcelona. Catalonia unilaterally declared independence last October, prompting the then conservative government of Mariano Rajoy to impose direct rule from Madrid. Torra's new elected regional administration continues to push for a split from Spain. Peruvian President Martin Vizcarra has demanded an investigation into accusations of presumed influence, trafficking and lying by Peruvian judges and members of the National Council of the Judiciary. Vizcarra's comments come in a news conference after local media had recorded conversations where two judiciary officials were heard in what appeared to be a negotiation of influence and lying. Argentines came out to protest on their national holiday in central Buenos Aires, weeks after Argentine President Mauricio Macri welcomed news that the International Monetary Fund's Executive Board approved a $50 billion financing deal for Argentina. An umbrella or leftist demonstrators rallied around the banner, "The homeland will not give up," was the slogan. The South American country announced it was turning to the IMF in May after a run on peso currency. ISIS's main stronghold in Afghanistan was captured by US and Afghan special forces after a prolonged assault that killed nearly 170 terrorist fighters. The multi-stage military operation in Dehbala, located on the border with Pakistan, began in April and wrapped up in June. No American or Afghan troops were killed during the offensive. A court in Myanmar charged two jailed Reuters journalists with obtaining secret state documents on Monday. Both journalists pleaded not guilty to the charges, telling the judge they had followed journalistic ethics. The case has attracted global attention. Some Western diplomats and rights groups say it is a test of progress towards full democracy under the administration of Nobel laureate Aung San Suu Kyi. Twitter has suspended over 70 million fake accounts in 2 months to reduce the flow of misinformation on the platform. Twitter and other social media platforms such as Facebook have been under scrutiny by US lawmakers and international regulators for doing too little to prevent the spread of false content. Shares of Chinese smartphone giant Xiaomi have fallen by almost 6% in its trading debut in Hong Kong. A long-awaited IPO saw a disappointing valuation of $54 billion, which is well below its ambitious $100 billion target. While Formula One drivers battle it out in the British Grand Prix in Silverstone on Sunday, in another English town, racers took their marks for a slightly different type of a tournament, the British pedal car Grand Prix. 23 teams comprised of up to 4 drivers took part in the 2-hour race of endurance in the historic town of Ringwood in Hampshire. More than 2,000 people lined the streets around the 1.4-kilometre circuit to cheer on their favourite teams.
And car 42 has just been pulled onto the hard shoulder there and is being checked out under the old Go.
Prince Louis, the third child of Britain's Prime Prince William and wife Kate, has been christened at a small private ceremony overseen by close family but without his great-grandmother, Queen Elizabeth. Louis, the fifth in line to the British throne, who was born on April 23rd, was christened by the Archbishop of Canterbury at the Chapel Royal of St. James Palace in central London. However, the 92-year-old Queen and her husband, Prince Philip, were not among the guests. Men's Fashion Week kicked off in New York with designers showcasing their offerings for spring 2019. American designer Michael Rubin found inspiration in his latest vacation to Tokyo. He took cues from Japan's street style using classic Japanese print patterns for his collection titled 8 Days in Japan. Models wearing oversized shirts and chino pants broke out into dancing with a video of a Japanese imagery playing in the background. French daredevil alien Robert climbed the Four Seasons Hotel in Hong Kong. This latest stunt was part of a promotional event for a new film starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Robert is renowned for his free solo climbing using no equipment. He has previously climbed towering landmarks such as the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, the Eiffel Tower and the Sydney Opera House, the Petronas Twin Towers in Kuala Lumpur and the Galaxy Macau Tower as well. In a big decision, India's Supreme Court has upheld the death sentence in the Nirbhaya gang rape case. The top court has dismissed the review petition filed by 3 of the 4 convicts who were awarded death penalty in the brutal gang rape and murder of a paramedic student in New Delhi in 2012. A 3-judge bench of the Supreme Court pronounced its verdict on a plea by 3 accused Pavan Gupta, Mukesh and Vinay Sharma. The Supreme Court of India refused to delay hearing of a batch of petitions challenging the criminalization of homosexuality. The Delhi High Court ruling to strike off the law criminalizing homosexuality back was overturned and the matter was to be left to Parliament. The newly reconstituted 5-judge Constitution bench is scheduled to commence hearing of 4 crucial matters, including the issue of the sexual relationship between persons of same sex from tomorrow. Devotees, priests and temple servitors defended their tradition of not allowing non-Hindus in the sanctorium of famous Jagannath temple in India's eastern Puri city in Odisha. The fumed reactions came after India's Supreme Court on Thursday had directed the management of the famed Lord Jagannath temple to consider allowing every visitor, irrespective of faith, to offer prayers and offerings to the deity. India's apex court has refused to overturn a ban on non-residents of India's Agra city offering invited prayers inside the iconic Taj Mahal complex. A writ was drafted to the apex court by the chief of the Taj Mahal Mosque Management Committee, Saeed Ibrahim Hussain Zaidi, to review the order, but it was rejected by the court. The court said that the iconic Mughal monument was one of the 7 wonders of the world and needs to be protected. A third straight day of heavy monsoon rains disrupted trains and traffic in Mumbai, with flooding in several areas, prompting the government to declare a holiday for schools and colleges. Heavy rains in the city led to waterlogged streets and caused several traffic jams. Flooded railway tracks delayed a dozen long-distance trains, while suburban trains, a lifeline for the city's population of about 18 million, were also hit. South Korean President Moon Jae-in and India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the world's largest mobile manufacturing facility in Noida in the national capital region of Delhi. In June last year, the South Korean giant had announced a 4,915 crore rupee investment to expand the Noida plant. And after a year, the new facility is ready to double production. South Korean President Moon Jae-in and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Gandhi Smriti, a museum dedicated to freedom fighter Mahatma Gandhi in New Delhi. Moon and Modi paid tributes to the freedom fighter and also listened to Mahatma Gandhi's favorite songs. The two leaders then took a metro ride to neighboring Noida city, where they inaugurated a factory of Samsung Electronics. South Korean First Lady Kim Jong-suk visited the iconic 16th century tomb belonging to Mughal Emperor Humayun in India's capital, New Delhi. South Korean President Moon Jae-in and Jong-suk had arrived in the Indian capital on Sunday, July 8th, as part of his first state visit to the country. The First Lady spent nearly 45 minutes at the iconic monument, which was built in the year 1570 and served as an architectural inspiration for iconic Taj Mahal. Canadian pop singer Justin Bieber reportedly got engaged to American model Hailey Baldwin during a trip to the Bahamas. The duo was introduced by Hailey's father, Stephen Baldwin, in 2011 and had dated for a while in 2016. Bieber had thereafter reunited with his former girlfriend Selena Gomez before they reportedly broke up in March this year. Pop stars Beyonce and Jay-Z will headline a special global citizen festival in the honor of Nelson Mandela in South Africa later this year. The December 2nd concert in Johannesburg is part of the events marking the 100th anniversary of the birth of the anti-apartheid leader and Nobel Peace Prize winner. Other English artists headlining the festival included Ed Sheeran, Usher and Pharrell Williams. The poster of Kisi Aur Mani, the official Hindi adaptation of The Fault in Our Stars, has been unveiled. Starring Sushant Singh Rajput and Sanjana Sanghi, the film will also mark the directorial debut of casting director Mukesh Chhabra. The shoot of Kisi Aur Mani started in Jamshedpur, Jharkhand. Interestingly, the poster features an image of superstar Rajinikanth. Let's now look at the big stories from the world of sports. The action at the 2018 FIFA World Cup resumes tonight, with France taking on dark horses Belgium in the first semi-final at St. Petersburg. Both teams sounded out their title credentials by reaching their last four without suffering a single loss. France eased past Uruguay, while Belgium knocked Brazil out in their respective quarter-final ties. This will be the 74th meeting between these two nations across all matches. Meanwhile, Spain have appointed Luis Enrique as the new head coach following Fernando Hierro's resignation. The 2010 champion had undergone a period of radical change on the eve of the World Cup in Russia with the sacking of Julen Lopetegui. Hierro, the team's sporting director, was put in charge as the head coach for the World Cup, but the 50-year-old resigned post their round of 16 exit. Former Barcelona manager Enrique had opted to take a sabbatical after leaving the Catalan Giants last year.